we're just going to keep things rolling. We're going to finish off this stream with our main events. A really exciting battle indeed for this main event. The first team leader being the Goldenrod Gholdengos, led by Mars, playing for Goodwill, currently in third place at 5-1. Brain working, hold on. I like how everyone's matchmaking even though the stream isn't even over yet. Wow. Yeah, so the Goldenrod Gholdengos, third place at 5-1, has been getting close to losing a few times, but just hasn't been able to pick up those wins. Only having their first loss against the Mythical Mermaids. This team is really something strong though. The Oyumans this team being the Torkoal at 2-6 and the Roaring Moon at 7-4. The Torkoal, of course, being a good sunsetter for the Paradox monster of this team, and just the the Chlorophyll Pokemon, the fire type boosted everything, just really sun heavy team. The Oyumans this team being the Slitherwing at 8-3 and the Sandy Shocks at 2-3. The Argumons this team being the Porygon 2, the Porygon 2 just being an absolute annoyance, able to come up with so many different strategies just to get some knockouts and survive. Porygon 2 being at 6-0. The Iron Thorns at 0-2, and the Brute Bonnet at 3-0. The Agumons this team being the Hitmonlee, who has not shown his face quite yet. The Magmortar at 0-1, and the Vileplume at 6-2. The Piyumons this team being the Shuckle, not showing, or he has shown his face yet, but he hasn't been used. And Shuckle being just something that is annoying. Like, Shuckle is such a good Pokemon, I'm just surprised they haven't utilized it more. The Wobbuffet at 1-1, and Eradicate and the Jellicent at 0-0. They have their work cut out for them this week against the Pallet Town Penguins, led by Beast Penguin, playing for the St. Jude's Children's Hospital, currently 8th place at 8-3. Unfortunately, going through a slight losing streak now, winning their first 3 battles, but unfortunately losing their next 3. Definitely looking to break that losing streak this week, though. The Oyumans this team being the Cinderace at 4-5, and the Hydreigon at 3-1. The Yu Pokemon being the Gengar at 4-4, and the Swampert at 5-2. This Swampert being something just hits hard and chunks hits too. Such a good Pokemon here. The Argumons of this team being the Gardevoir at 2-3, the Swellow at 3-2, and the Heracross, unfortunately only at 0-1, but Heracross is still another really good Pokemon that this team can take advantage of. The Enumons being the Duraludon at 3-3, the Heliolisk at 0-1, and the Muck, who has not shown his face and probably won't. Who knows? The Piyumons being the Lapras. Lapras also has not shown their face yet either. The Archeops at 3-1 though. The Slacking, I'm kind of surprised Slacking hasn't shown up yet, but we'll see. And the Gourgeist is at 2-3 as well. Let's move on to the lineups of these two teams. We see the Goldenrod Gholdengos with the 2 Paradox Mons here first, the Roaring Moon and the Slitherwing. We see the Magmortar coming back after a while, with the Torkoal coming back to set up that sun for both the Vileplume, Magmortar, and these other 2. And the Porygon 2 is showing his face again. The Pallet Town Penguins, though, bringing that Swampert, bringing the Gardevoir, that Gengar, the Helios coming back after a while. Heracross is coming back as well with the Cinderace. Really 2 just strong teams. This is a very red team, I'm realizing. Very red team for the Goldenrod Gholdengos. But yeah, the main event is the main event for a reason. This is a really good battle. Let's strap yourselves in and get ready to see the starting Pokemon of these 2 teams. The Goldenrod Gholdengos leading with that Roaring Moon, with the Pallet Town Penguins leading with that Swampert. The U-turn immediately from the Roaring Moon into the Torkoal with a Power-Up Punch connecting. Swampert going for an Earthquake. The Earthquake does not take down this Torkoal though, with the Torkoal going for the Yawn. Immediate switch from the Swampert into the Heliolisk with a swap from the Torkoal into that Slitherwing. And the first impression is able to take down the Helios in just one hit. The Gardevoir then comes out. The Slithering being scared, going into that Porygon 2 with a Psychic connecting, doing just a little bit of damage here. The immediate switch into the Swampert from the Gardevoir, into the conversion from the Porygon, changing it to a Ghost type. The Stealth Rocks then set up from the Swampert, with a Curse being used from the Porygon to put this Swampert on a timer. Swampert switches out into the Gardevoir though, with a Recover coming through from the Porygon 2, bringing it back to over half its HP. The Shadow Ball connecting, doing a little bit of chip damage, but not too much here. With a Curse, another Curse being laid. Unfortunately, he does live it too, so Porygon does not get the Feint from the recoil of the Curse. Torkoal then switches out to replace it, but the Stealth Rocks won't make a difference, but the Shadow Ball from the Gardevoir will, dropping the Torkoal, giving the Gardevoir another knockout to its name. Roaring Moon then comes in. An Iron Head, though, is going to outspeed and take down this Gardevoir. Doing so much damage here. With the Heracross then coming in. We switch from the Slithering into the Porygon 2. Of course, the Porygon is going to fall from the Stealth Rocks here. The Slithering then comes back in. The two bug fighting types. Of course, the Heracross does get scared, goes into the Gengar. The resisted hit from its first impression still does about half of its HP though. Slithering switches into the Vileplume and predicts that Dazzling Gleam really well here. It does do some pretty good damage, but it doesn't do too much. The Sun does fade with the Gengar going for the Shadow Ball. Isn't quite enough to take down this Vileplume though. With the Vileplume setting up the Sun again. It is now going to outspeed here, and it lands the Sleep Powder onto the Gengar here. Gengar taking a nap on the field. And the Solar Beam charging up, and it is enough to take down the Gengar through a resisted hit. But the Life Orb recoil is going to take down the Vileplume. Each team with 3 Pokemon left. Swampert comes back out with a Roaring Moon coming back out to replace the whatever it was. Swampert then switches out into that Cinderace to predict that U-turn coming in from the Roaring Moon, with a Magmortar coming in to replace the Roaring Moon. Cinderace, already moved. Cinderace goes for a U-turn itself, does some pretty good damage to this Magmortar, but not enough. Swampert then coming in, and the Flame Charge is going to hit it, boosting the Magmortar's speed here. The Sunlight does fade though, but Magmortar is strong. The Hidden Power Grass is enough to take down the Swampert, with the Heracross then coming in. The immediate switch into that Cinderace though, with the Flame Charge coming through. The Flame Charge is going to boost its speed even more now. And the Thunderbolt isn't quite enough to take down the Cinderace though. The High Jump Kick connecting and taking down the Magmortar. Each team at 2 Pokemon left. The Slithering then comes back in. The Pyro Ball outspeeding and taking down the Slitherwing. Just the Roaring Moon left though. The Outrage is able to outspeed the Cinderace and take it down. But will it be able to take down the Heracross though? The Outrage connecting, and it does take down the Heracross, with the Goldenrod Gholdengos as the winner of this battle. But the Pallet Town Penguins putting in the work and nearly taking down this team.